Watch what's approaching, the supreme moment. Reality striking closer than it seems, don't it? Go ahead, it's for the taking if you want it. If not, the dream dies and you'll be forever haunted. Then confront it.
What's good, and welcome back for another showcase. This one is a little bit unique. I mean, I've done a lot of showcases over the past close to 4 years of doing YouTube and just playing Dokkan in general, but this one takes the cake in terms of potentially the worst unit to not only max out at 100% potential, but just going through the grind for the link skill levels is quite honestly an absolute waste of time, as the title suggests. So we'll talk about the stats and whatnot for the 777-day Hercule here in a second, but I did throw out a pop quiz for the last one, so shout out to Omar Ali for getting the right answer. First, Hercule and Boo never actually died in the entire series of DBZ, according to the websites I looked into, so I'm going to base the accuracy on that for now. So shout out Omar for getting that one. I think for this one, we'll kind of keep it aligned with the Hercule topic. So for Hercule, what is his favorite food, and also what are his hobbies? So the first one to comment that, I'll definitely shout you out in the next video. All right, so let's talk about the 777-day Hercule unit. Now, the first thing to call out, right, is the leader skill is simply super type Ki +3, but the interesting things come up with the super attack and the passive skill. So, the super attack is the dynamite kick, causes low damage to enemy and recovers 7,000 HP. Now, 7,000 HP recovery might have been nice back in the day, but in today's meta Dokkan battle, that's really irrelevant. Plus, the low damage multiplier is quite ridiculous, but it doesn't end quite there. Passive skill is a great chance of attack minus 80%. The great chance, remember, is an equivalent of a 70% chance. So 70% of the time, you are reducing his attack by 80%, or he's voluntarily reducing his attack by 80%. So again, the point I was making earlier about getting the unit to 100% potential and also max level links. Like I paired him up with a couple of units that do link well, but again, because of the low damage super attack multiplier and also the 70% equivalent of attack going down by 80%, that really just culminates what type of unit this is. So this is more or less, the ultimate troll or meme unit in Dokkan Battle, along with the April Fools Yamcha. But the April Fools Yamcha was certainly an April Fools kind of theme, so they were going to troll on that, but it was a little bit surprising for 777-day cumulative login bonus they would give out such a terrible unit. But it's I find it highly entertaining and funny at the same time. Okay, so let's cover some of the links. So World Tournament Champion at level 10 is Ki +2, defense increase to 10%. Champion Strength is Ki +2, reduces damage received by 5%. Money is Ki +1, and defense increase to 20%. World Tournament is attack increase of 20%, and then Hero is defense increase of 25%. Luckily, these link sets are shared with the free-to-play Hercule and Boo unit that came out during the worldwide celebration, so I did pair this unit up with that guy pretty much throughout the showcase. Now, luckily, this guy was on at least one category, which happens to be the Earthlings category, so I did run it on that with the double free-to-play Prime Battle LR Krillin as leads, just to see how this would pretty much work out. 100% potential, the stats aren't too bad for this unit. 13,573 for HP, and then attack is 12,800. And then defense is 4,084. Obviously quite lagging on the defensive side. And then the 12 Ki Multiplier is 125%. Again, this is a very weak unit. I would certainly not recommend going through the potential system, let alone the link skill level grind. I mean, it wasn't terrible because the link sets were, relatively few, I guess, in the broad scheme of things. But it does take time, and it's kind of pointless. At least for me, I produce content, so it's a great way to showcase a unit that nobody in the right mind would cover. But at the same time, I certainly would not recommend you do this and replicate it because, again, unless you're doing it for shits and giggles, this is absolutely pointless. Although it does segue into a nice little topic about, the frequency and implementation of the Extreme Z area events, right? Now, similar to the 1000-day LR Goku, the EZA is available obviously with only hitting the 2000 cumulative day mark, but they could potentially roll this out as, potentially this guy get an EZA depending on the total amount of cumulative days, basically just double the amount and, call it a day. I think that would be, an appropriate way to go about it, but it would be really great if they actually made this unit somewhat useful, right? I mean, I kind of like the fact that it's such a crappy unit, but at the same time, it'd be kind of nice to, see some minor improvements. The only drawback to this that I don't like is I really wanted to pair this guy up with the LR Hercule, but of course, even with the guy receiving an EZA with the, LR Hercule status, the name is pretty much the same, so you can't run this guy together, and that's the problem, right? Is the link sets are pretty obscure, I guess, and it's only shared with a certain amount of units, so you definitely do want to maximize the available options. Again, the free-to-play Hercule and Buu unit are pretty decent, and they do pair up pretty well. And if you throw in units like the free-to-play Ubi unit, you can pretty much cover all the link sets. The only problem is there's not that many good supporting units on the Earthlings category. So I did throw in Maya, obviously, because of the passive support to agility types, but again, it's still building, right? The category itself is still building up. It's a lot of good units did come into play, but obviously we're still lagging quite a bit. So maybe they'll improve this going forward, but we'll have to see what happens. I mean, at the end of the day, the unit is pretty old. I mean, if we're being real for a second, I mean, it came out on JP in March 14th of 2017. Global, it came out on August 20th of 2017. So we are definitely well over the the 3-year plus mark. So maybe next year at some point we'll see some sort of Extreme Z awakening for this unit. It'd be nice if we didn't actually have to go through the process. They would just kind of give it to you as a cumulative login bonus, let's just say 777 times 2 type deal, and go about it that way. That would make the most sense to me, but I don't really know how many people actually rainbow the unit, let alone link skill level grind. I mean, I kind of just do it just for my own entertainment, you know what I mean? And that's kind of what it comes down to. Like, I love maxing out crappy units and just see how they perform in an optimal setting, just to give them a glimpse of hope, into the limelight a little bit. But yeah, it's going to be really hard justifying why I 100% this unit as well as, the link skill level grind, because quite honestly, it's a complete waste of time. I'm not going to sugarcoat it one bit. Again, I've done a lot of showcase the past couple of years, and I've gone through quite a amount of units and tested them out, and this one is definitely up there in terms of wasted resources and time, to be honest with you. I mean, it's great, but it's definitely not the best thing to do with your free time. So I guess at the end of the day, I will kind of just summarize by saying that, but it makes things interesting. You got to switch it up every now and then. You can't just cover the brand new units, the strongest, most powerful units. It gets a little bit boring when you're constantly doing that. So I kind of like to switch things up and just cover some of the more crappy units and see how they perform. But I do have several lined up, and I do have plans on uploading showcase for those units coming up, but I definitely did want to cover this guy as quickly as possible whenever I got done. I mean, it just makes sense to give you guys the pleasure of enjoying the content of this unit being showcased on quote unquote the most optimal setting. It's bad. It's a bad unit. It's a terrible unit, but I love it absolutely. I mean, it's just, I don't know what it is. I guess I'm missing a couple of screws in my head or something where this is actually entertaining for me. But I've heard it, here and there, like from, you guys commenting and also just seeing on Twitter and stuff in general. But I think a good portion of you guys actually do the same stuff and enjoy, trolling a little bit and maxing out some terrible units. But yeah, at the end of the day, if you're light on potential orbs and resources like training items and whatnot, I would certainly not recommend you do this. I mean, it's a terrible, terrible idea, but that's why this channel exists, right? So you don't have to do it, and you can basically just check it out yourself. So hopefully, in that regard, you guys did enjoy the video. Again, this is kind of a special video for me because out of all the units I've tested, again, like I cannot stress enough, this one definitely is up there in terms of taking the cake in terms of wasted opportunities, wasted time, wasted resources, and what have you. But I have no regrets. I 100% enjoyed doing this. Like the link skill level grind, seeing this guy go one level at a time was, you know, kind of entertaining, and you know, I actually had a lot of good fun doing this. So with that being said, hopefully you guys did enjoy the 100% potential of the 777-day cumulative login bonus Hercule unit. As always, thanks for watching. Until next time, I will catch you guys later. All right, peace out.